Welcome everyone, this is Tristan here from 𝗨𝗣𝗏𝗧𝗏, and today we'll be going over E-mini futures. We'll just run through some TA and see where the price is going in relation to monthly and intraday timeframes, and prepare ourselves for the upcoming week. We did have a very news-heavy, high-impact week last week, so yeah, but we still showed some strength throughout the week, so that's good. Looking at monthly levels now. So when we start off our technical analysis, I like to normally start with our monthly, and then we drop down into the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and so on and so forth. Looking at the monthly time frame, we see that the high was made back in December 2021, and we are fast approaching towards it. We've had a decent ride towards the high for last 5 months, and we have been just impulsing up into that. Before that, we do also see an intermediate term high that was formed just around here back in March, which we can track and see that we have just barely tapped into it, and we are now rejecting back down into it. We are still 2 days away from closing the month, so that's something that we can keep an eye out for. So those are the two premium levels, basically, I can say, in relation to the monthly time frame, and then we can also pull fib from there, from the low that was formed in October, and then we can pull it to the upside, and we can look at the 50%, and we are in the deep premium of that swing down, and so that's basically a pullback. If we break the all-time highs, we become bullish, even more bullish, basically, in terms of high time frame narrative. We can quickly add an 886 level and see where the 886 lies. So 886 is not too far away. That sits at like 4659.25, and we are at 4606. And yeah, of course, the markets are close today, but we'll just prepare ourselves. So we still may expect a $59 move to the upside, clearing the high, and yeah, if we close above the 886, we may even further travel into this week and get to the highs of it. But until we get to that point, we'll just mark off these levels as our important level, and this can become our monthly time frame high. So that's that. So that's a monthly time frame high. We do have some alerts set as well in relation to where we would like price to see and reactions and so on. But this is what I am looking at on the monthly at the moment. Of course, we are bullish, 2 days away from closing. Now we drop down into the weekly time frame and see what the weekly time frame looks like. So this is the March high that we marked out, and now we are also impulsing fast approaching this high that was formed up in this was when in March as well, 2022, and we tapped into that, and then we have rejected. So that's the high that is forming like a double top sort of thing, a relative equal highs at this point. So we may see an impulse back down or pull back into the range, form some support, and then we can start to accumulate and then impulse up into the monthly highs or the all-time highs that we have marked out on the monthly time frame. So that's something that we do have in mind. So that's our drawn liquidity. We can also look at this order flow around here. So this will be our short-term to a high time frame order block that we have tapped into it, but we have not reached the 50% just yet. So we can definitely see that this order block may receive some sort of a reaction, and then we may see an impulse back down from there. So something like this, we may see a shift down, and then we may see a shift push up from there. But looking further into the time frames, we can drop into the daily time frame. What do we see? On the daily time frame, we have just been traveling up a small pullback, push up, break the highs, and something to keep in mind is that we are respecting the lows. So the lows are still staying intact. So the low is staying intact. All the lows that are forming are staying intact, and they're taking the highs out. So we just mark out the highs, something like this, and we have fail to close above this. We have done a sweep, we pull back down on a Thursday, and then on a Friday we did impulse back up. We came into this wick on Friday, and then we still pushed down, but we still closed a bullish day for Friday. So that's something to be mindful of. Dropping down into lower time frame, of course, you will need high time frame narrative based on where you would like the price to see react from. So that's the monthly time frame high that we are looking at a draw towards. So that will be our drawn liquidity until price does otherwise. If we start breaking down strongly into these lows and start closing aggressively below these lows on the daily time frame, then we may see like, okay, yeah, we may expect a deeper pullback into the bigger range. Until then, this is the drawn liquidity for the monthly that we have on ES. We can drop down into the 4-hour time frame to get a bit more detailed analysis or a look into what the price is doing on an intraday basis, and see what the profile looks like for the week. So this was the last week, and if we put a vertical line on a Monday midnight, somewhere around here, Monday, there we go. So this is where we start. Where we open the week, and then sorry. This is where we open the week, and then we have impulse up, and this was the news heavy day, a little bit of a choppy market in relation to, of course, the heavy news and everything else. And this is where we closed off for Friday. So this is what our weekly profile looks like for this week that just passed, and we're in the weekend now. And we look back into the previous week. We were impulsing up, we pulled back, and then we broke above structures. All the structure looks a more corrective structure in a way that we are respecting the lows, demand for price pulls back into demand, sweeps the lows, not closing below, and now we are forming imbalances in the premium array. So just focusing on the previous week's price action on the 4-hourly time frame, we do have some important zones we can mark out. Firstly will be the high that was created on Wednesday that was taken out on a Thursday. So that's an important zone that we have to be mindful of, because this was a liquidity trap that people said, like, okay, this is where we're topping, now we're pushing back down, and then we consolidated, we came back down to retest, and people tried to short it, and on Thursday we just impulsed through it, and we took out all the buy stops that sat just around here up on top of these highs. So all these buy stops were taken out in here, and then we reversed and took out the sell side liquidity that was generated around underneath this. So looking at weekly profiles, the good thing we have is that we have a look back range for what price might be doing in relation to further projections into the upcoming week. We're looking at the lows of the week, and the lows of the week were put in on a Tuesday. So this is what the lows on the week looks like. And we started the week, we pushed up, we came back down, we rejected off of the we supported the demand, and we pushed up, we created the high, and then we pulled back into the range, and then we took that range high out on a Thursday, pulled back, deep discount, and also into the order block just around here, which was swept, which was validated with this imbalance that was created and an FVG. So we came back down into that order block, and we are impulsing up. Looking at on the premium side of the range, we do see an imbalance that is created, or fair value that was created. So that's the CB. We have taken almost 90% of the range, and we are pushing back down, but we did close a bullish candle on the last closing hours of the day. So that's something to look at. So for example, going into upcoming week, this will be a range high for the 4-hour time frame. So we just mark that as a 4-hour high, and we can mark that as a 4-hour low, and there we go, so 4-hour low, and we can easily mark out the 50% of this range, and that's that. So that's the 50% range of the 4-hourly time zone. We just make that as black as well, so that's not sticking out in a weird sense. So looking at this profile, and what we can do is that we can also add Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday finishing. Yeah, there we go. So this is what we are expecting, that price is probably going to do some sort of a pullback into the previous structure that it has formed to break above the highs. Until then, we can see some sort of structure that gets formed, high gets taken, low gets taken, and then price may impulse back down, or we may just drop into the thing now into the discount zone, form some range, take the lows, and then we can start impulsing back up into the narrative for the monthly time frame high that we marked out around here. So this is the way I would like to look at the chart at this point. We are in the price range, in the premium zone of the price range. So I'm expecting a pullback back into this range, and then we may start impulsing back up. We do have some minor inefficiencies that are just sitting just around here. So that's number one. So that's an imbalance that got created around here between these two candles, and then there is a rebalance around here, and then there is an inefficiency sitting down around here. So two important zones in the discount that I would like to see price drop back down, find some support to go up, or we can just drop below, take the lows, and still respect this major order block that took out some decent highs. So those are two areas that I will have marked out on my chart, and I will be setting some alerts just around here and here. And once price reaches that area, we may just look for some more confirmation entries to look for long. If not, if we are continuing this bearish trend, we may look for shorts depending on what the price action looks like. But I'll wait for Monday to give us the narrative, what the opening looks like, what the price looks like, and yeah, we'll go on from there. But this was a quick analysis on ES for the end of the week, preparing for the upcoming week. So these are my areas that I would like to see mitigated further push up, or if we start closing further down, we may look for more short entries into these discount zones. But until then, take care and have a good weekend. Speak to you guys next time. Thank you.